Does this sound familiar? You wake up already tired, not the kind of tired that's fixed by sleep, the kind that lives in your chest, your jaws, and in the tone of your voice. You love your partner, you love your kids or your pets, but lately everything feels flat, reactive, and heavy. Conversations turn sharp faster than you expect. Patience runs out quicker than they used to, and connection feels like something that you have to work on instead of something that just naturally flows. And somewhere in the back of your mind, there's that quiet question that you don't always look at. And that's, why does it feel like life has gone out of our relationships? Here's the truth most people miss, and I certainly missed it for a lot of years. It's not because you don't care. It's not because you choose the wrong partner. 90% of the time, that's not the case. And it's not because your kids are too much or life is too busy. And that's the one I used to say, life is too busy. It's because your emotional home. Every human being has one. Your emotional home is the internal environment you live in most of the time. It's the baseline state for your nervous system, which runs the show when you're not trying to. And the emotional home quietly determines how you think, feel, and act, and how you show up in every relationship you're in. When your emotional home is depleted, guarded, overwhelmed, or constantly on edge, your relationships don't get the best. They get the leftovers. And unfortunately, that's what we're giving to the people we say we care most about. Think about it. If your inner world feels rushed, unsafe, exhausted, tapped, capped, and strapped in your resources and your energy, how do you listen? How do you respond when your partner is stressed? How are you responding when you're stressed? How do you guide your kids when you're dysregulated? You might still be doing all the right things on the surface, but underneath there's tension, shortness, and distance. And over time, that drains the life, excitement, passion out of your relationships that actually matters most to you. Most people tend to fix it backwards. They work on the communication first, or they try to get more patience, or they manage their reactions, which don't last long term. The behavior is the last domino. Behavior is not the starting point, it's the outcome. So your emotional home is the starting point. I learned this the hard way. For multiple years, I lived in high alert, feeling unsafe, strong, capable, on top of things. And underneath, I was always bracing for the worst. I thought being on meant being responsible. I thought holding everything together was what love looked like. I thought being in control was love. I thought intensity meant leadership. But in actuality, it was dictatorship. But my emotional home was constant high stress, high pressure, always frustrated, irritated, and ready to react. The pressure leaks everywhere, into the tone of your voice, into your expectations for life, and how safe other people feel around you, especially the people you love the most. No joke, I could even shut down the animals just by walking through the door. Here's the truth that no one tells you. Your nervous system is always teaching people around you how to respond and how to feel with you, not through words, but through your energy. If your emotional home is tight, rushed, reactive, or feels even off, even just a little bit, you never have to say a thing. Your kids will respond by shutting down, acting out, or becoming hypervigilant. Your partners will either withdraw, defend, or match your intensity, not because they want conflict or fight. It's because your nervous systems are talking to each other through unconscious actions, thoughts, and feelings. So if your relationships are feeling flat or strained, the most powerful question is not what's wrong with us, what's wrong with me, or what's wrong with you. It's what emotional state am I bringing to this relationship, to this space most of the time. This is where everything shifts and changes. When you build your energy, you rebuild your emotional home. When you restore your personal power, not force, calm, you change how you show up without even forcing it. You stop trying to control the outcomes and start regulating yourself. By regulating yourself, you stop managing other people and start leading with presence and listening. The presence is what brings the relationship back to life, not perfection, not endless conversation. It's presence. So when your emotional home feels steadier, you respond instead of react. I was a high reactor. When you listen without planning your defense, when you hold boundaries without guilt or explosion, and in a calm way, You bring calm instead of pressure into a room. And that shift alone can change the entire tone of your entire household, including the animals. Here's the part most people underestimate. You don't rebuild this by doing more. You rebuild it by learning how to operate, how you operate, how your thoughts create the emotions, how your emotions drive your actions, and how the patterns repeat on autopilot until you interpret them. This is the autopilot system. This is your nervous system. And autopilot doesn't care how much you love your family. Autopilot runs on conditioning, stress, and survival patterns, or until you rewire them. That's the good news. Autopilot gets to be rewritten. Your nervous system can start to feel safe again, not through willpower, through awareness, regulation, and small intentional shifts that compound. This is why energy work isn't fluffy, it's foundational. For me, I never understood what energy work really was. So if you feel resourced inside, if you cannot create vibrant connection on the outside, and here's the part that matters most. You don't need to fix relationships, you need to rebuild yourself first. It's not selfish, it's powerful. When you do, your relationships can recalibrate naturally. Not overnight, well, possibly, but profoundly. Micro momentum shifts. You hear me say micro momentum often. So today, I want you to pause before you respond. In a changed moment, take one slow breath. Ask yourself, what emotional home am I bringing to this situation? Then answer from that awareness. That's a single pause, is where the change begins. And if you know something needs a shift, you're ready to rebuild your energy and your personal power from the inside out. There are two places to start. You can start with a free offer that I have in my personal power reset. It's literally a little over a 2-minute audible. Or if you want a deeper dive, come join me in my online program, Ignite Your Personal Power. I've just launched the very first cohort, January 12th, 2026, but it's an online program, so you can come in and join us at any time and start shifting and igniting your personal power. So remember, you're not broken, you're just depleted. And when you come home to yourself, your relationships that matter most start to flourish. Take these tips, connect with me, check out the links in the description and in the comments. I'd love to have you join me in my cohort, in my community, the Annihilation Edge community, so that we can learn and grow together. Take care, my friend. We'll talk again soon.